Hey guys, it's kind of Saturday. Today's video, I want to go over some basics of Qigong exercises. Okay, now this is specifically the silk reeling type of Qigong. There's many kinds. There's also sitting Qigong. There's just the using your breath work alone without movement. Okay, there are many kinds. Some are more like meditative. Well, it's all meditative, but I mean it's stillness, motionless. Okay, this is moving qigong. Okay, so qigong it's inherent in all martial arts, whether people realize it or not. Okay, and it's really about that internal work, coordinating the breathing with the movements of the body. Okay, and timing so that that exhale happens at the same time as the moment of impact. Okay, and this is there's a lot of nonsense online about having all kinds of like magical powers, and people use chi to like levitate things or whatever. It's just nonsense. Okay, if you look at the Chinese character of chi, it's a pot of boiling rice. Okay, and the reason for that is because in ancient times they didn't understand modern chemistry. So a modern chemist would say glucose plus oxygen equals carbon dioxide. All right, which is, when you breathe. Okay, that's like a basic metabolic process. Okay, you have to breathe well, and if you breathe well, your circulation will be good, your blood flow will be good, and you will not get sick, and you'll be full of health and vitality. Okay, if you don't, there's a blockage of some kind, then you'll be in trouble. Okay, that's where it comes from. Okay, so but in the ancient times, they would say rice plus air equals chi. So rice plus air, glucose plus oxygen. Okay, and that's kind of where it comes from. All right. So yeah, so basically, it all promotes good health, good breathing, and good blood circulation. Okay, good blood flow. All right. So good place to start here. Let's start with our feet, about 3 of your feet apart. Okay, and we're gonna do the breathing that we call prenatal breathing and then reverse breathing. Prenatal breathing means that your stomach will expands on the inhale, flattens out on the exhale. Okay, so if you look at me from the side, you see my stomach is going out here. See, okay, tongue touching the roof of your mouth the entire time. Okay, now we also have reverse breathing, which is the opposite. Okay, in this one, you're gonna bring your stomach in, pull it in, okay, on the inhale. And then exhale comes out. Okay, so both are important. Now the main one, the basic one, would be what they call a Buddha's breath, the first one. Okay, the stomach will expand on the inhale and flatten out on the exhale. Okay, that's a Buddha's breath, and that is the one you always want to start with and end with. Okay, whenever you're doing any of this stuff. Okay, and in the middle, when you're doing the more aggressive stuff, and you want to have a bit more of a power generation. That goes for your, martial arts training and things. You want that reverse breathing. It's a bit more of a more powerful exertion. Okay, a more powerful expression. Okay, so you want that. The reverse one when it comes in. Okay, so you do that exhale when you're striking whatever. You have that kind of power, that bit more expression. Okay. But we're not going to use a lot of what we call jing today. We're going to use more slow, controlled motions to get the body go. We want to train without tension. We want to connect the body with the breath, and we want to have an exhale, but we don't want to have this kind of tension. Okay, nothing of that. Okay. So the first one we're going to do here is we're going to bring our hands back towards you. Here. Okay, now I am using the reverse breathing on this one, okay? You see my body from the side. I'm bringing my hips forward as I concave my chest. But you notice one thing, I'm not leaning forward like this. Some people get the wrong idea. I'm staying along this axis here, okay? The vertical axis, okay? Right? Okay, that's one. Now there are, I'm gonna do about 3 or 4 of these, okay, but there are countless numbers of things that you could do, okay. You can take any technique from any martial art and you could make it into a qigong exercise, okay. Now another one. This is right from Bagua, okay. I'm gonna scoop my hands up, and I'm gonna chop down towards my rear. I'm not just here, but to my rear, to get that waist rotation. Now I'm changing things up today, actually, but right now I'm using the Buddha's breath, the regular breathing. Okay, so I'm changing it up. Okay, but normally, like I said, start with regular breathing, go to reverse breathing for the meaty part of your workout, right, and then finish up with the reverse breathing again. But I'm just going to mix it up today. Okay, but that's the standard protocol you want to follow. Okay, so here. So scoop and down. Scoop down. Okay. Now I'm not thinking about the applications or anything like that here. I just want to get the body moving. Okay, making sure so I'm not rising up and down with this too. I'm trying to keep that same height here. Okay, my legs are going here, and then hips. Everything's moving all as one unit. Okay. And don't forget about this other hand too, right here, because this one is your guarding hand, also your controlling hand. Okay, so if I were to do a reverse chop on someone, right, that's my controlling hand, and then I can do another strike. Okay? I'm going to come down here with both hands, but there's my controlling hand, bang, bang, and you know I want to maintain that control. Right? If I want to strike with the other hand, now this one will control. Bang, bang, bang. That's always that replacing hand, which you learn in Wing Chun, okay? But is inherent in other internal arts as well, okay? And yes, for any of you, keyboard warriors, Wing Chun is indeed an internal art, okay? Regardless of what you may have been told, it's internal, okay? Anyway, that's not the point. Okay, all right. So let's do a couple more here, okay? Here's one. We're gonna go. Yes, hands are gonna go up and chop down to the middle. Up, down, up, down. So I'm breathing. Inhale. See, so chop up to the side and then straight down to the middle here. Now this is a different expression, but for any of you who practice Wing Chun, you may recognize this from the third form, the Buji form. Right up, down, but I'm using a larger expression here. I can even go way up higher if I want to, and down, okay? See? Everything is joined together. Okay? All right, that's another one. Okay, now now what we're going to do is that we're going to have one inhale and 2 exhales. Okay, all right, and that's often used in combat because I might come in here and inhale maybe, and then do 2 strikes, right? But I'm not going to inhale again on the second one. I'm just going to do 1 big inhale and then 2 exhales. Okay. In real combat, you're not actually focusing on the inhale at all, really. You're really focusing on the exhales, constantly. Okay, but you don't want to get in the habit of doing this thing that some guys do. You make all this noise. Okay, shh. Okay, you don't want to do that. Okay, you're just gonna waste energy for nothing. Okay, that does not increase your power, regardless of what it feels like. But that power comes from like weight transfer, body connectivity, and exhaling at the right time, timing your breathing with the strike. Okay, that's where power comes from. Okay, this yeah, that does not increase power. Okay, okay, just waste energy. All right. Okay, here we go. So this next one here, we're gonna come here. This is from Rooster. Okay, okay, here. See, so I inhale, exhale. Another one. See, I do two of them. See. Now, if I want to go side to side, it's going to be like this. I go back the other way. And this motion, we saw this scooping motion earlier. We did this one as well, okay? So that can be like a catching a kick, right? Someone tries to kick you, roundhouse kick, whatever. You come here, you step off the side, right? Take the sting off, okay? Catch that leg, and then you can throw them or whatever, okay? All right. So that's kind of the application, okay? All right. So that's the movement again, okay? One more time, okay? So. See, two exhales, right? Okay. Okay, so that's the basically how you can practice the qigong. So doing this is good for a number of things. There are many health benefits to doing that. Okay, it also allows you to take any of your techniques, break them down slowly, and really feel every inch of it. Remember something. You've heard me say before, right? Train big, fight small. Okay, so you want to go through that full range of motion. Okay, and then when it's time to actually use it in combat, it's going to be smaller and tighter. Okay, but I want to make sure that I have this full range of motion because I want to feel every single part of the movement right from the start to the finish. I want to feel at what point do my legs engage? At what point do I start using my hips, turn my hips? At what point do I activate my waist? At what point do I activate my shoulders? Okay, and my forearms, and my hands and fingers. Okay, these are things which you have to think of. But if you're always rushing through things, you're not going to feel it. You're not going to know that. Okay, but that's why it takes a long time to really master these things, and you have to really feeling every single inch of it. Actually, I take that back. I don't want to use the word master or anything because you truly never master anything. Okay, you can improve, but there's no such thing as mastering. Okay, because there's always room for improvement. If there is room for improvement, that means you haven't mastered it, and you never will. Okay, so you can improve, but you can't master anything. Okay, that's the mindset you have to always have. Okay, you have to always be hungry for knowledge, always want to be ready to learn, and you can learn from anybody. You know, don't get the wrong idea that you can only learn from senior students or masters to you. Okay, you can learn from little kids or whatever, or raw beginners. They'll tell you things which you may have never thought of yourself. But if you're so close-minded, you think you know everything, you're not going to get that. You're not going to hear that. Okay. Yeah, that's why you have to be open-minded, and always feel like a student. That's why people ask what rank I am. I say I'm a white belt forever, always will be. Okay, so yeah. All right. So anyways, so there's some qigong basics. It really helps, to do these things, and also it can't be overstated too much, but the benefit you get for the stress relief aspects of it is also very important because it helps a lot with that too. Right? We have stress in life and things, and doing this kind of stuff, it helps you just take a second. Okay, you know what? Even if you have to leave for a while, go to the bathroom and do it there. I mean, who the hell cares, right? Just get it in. If it helps you manage or focus better and have less stress, get on with your day, who cares? And people say, oh, well, someone walks in and sees you doing that, well, is their opinion of you more important than your well-being? Okay, so you know what? Do it. You just do it. Okay, wherever you are, if you feel the need to do it, you just do it. All right. Anyways, that's the video. Any questions, as always, let me know. See you guys soon.